Well, what's up, Transit? I'm JC.
I'm Maceo.
And welcome to Transit Online.
What is up, everybody? I'm so happy that you guys are back here with us again. And before we even get into all the fun and craziness that we have planned today, I want you guys to go ahead and like and subscribe to us. And you guys go ahead and click that bell right next to the subscribe button so you guys can be notified when we post these.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, hey, Transit, if you don't know, Transit's all about inspiring and equipping you to discover and pursue a faith of your own. It's for you as a middle schooler, it's for your friends, and it's for their friends. And we're so excited that you decided to tune in with us this morning.
And if it is your first time here, I want you guys to go ahead and click that first time guest link in the description below. That'll go ahead and get you connected with everything Transit, and it'll get you connected to your small group. And if it is your first time here, we'll go ahead and like to send you guys a $5 gift card to wherever you guys choose. Wherever.
Absolutely.
$5.
$5.
That's
Ooh.
A lot in some places.
I would take that. That's a free coffee for me. Well, hey, Maceo, we want these people. We've been doing this thing called, in my opinion, we've been doing this thing called, in my opinion. And you have some cards up here, and it looks like you're gonna ask me some questions, but I think we want them to get ready to type as well, right?
Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask them questions as well. And how we're going to do that is I'm going to ask the questions. And then I know you have your laptop close by. So you're going to just go ahead and when this premieres, go ahead and type that up. Okay. And then they'll be able to answer it. But I'm going to ask them the questions. But then I want you to answer it. And these are going to be like top of the head questions. Like you have to answer it right off like the top of your dome. And it's going to be like, in your opinion, which one do you like more?
So I don't need my laptop right now, but when it premieres, you and I are both going to be
When it premieres, me and you are going to do it, all right?
Okay,
so,
I got you.
All right. So, guys, I'm going to ask you this first, all right? In your opinion, which one do you think is better? Dancing or singing, okay? JC, go.
Dancing.
Dancing?
Yeah, man. If I could figure out how to dance.
You're not good at it.
Man.
I know, JC, I know that some kids seen Double Dog Marathon.
You don't think I did good?
The TikTok one, JC,
it wasn't good?
It was not good.
I felt like I was doing a good job.
No, JC, your feet, your feet and your brain don't have a good connection.
I still feel like I was doing a dance.
All right, guys. So which one is better, fish or snakes? All right, fish or snakes, JC?
Oh, fish.
Fish?
Absolutely. I would choose a fish over a snake. First, I can eat fish.
Well, you can eat snakes. I mean, JC, you never been to the country, my dude? Bro, people be eating rattlesnakes. They got copperheads, moccasins, bro.
Is that what y'all do in Newberry?
Bro, Newberry, they got coons, bro. We got squirrels. Man, JC, snake is some good eating. I'm just saying.
That sounds creepy.
All right, guys. In your opinion, which one do you think is better? Mountains or beaches? All right, JC, mountains or beaches?
Mountains. Absolutely. Yeah, because I got beaches all over Florida.
Yeah, and I guess like the beach life kind of gets tiring after a while, especially the people who live like right next to the beaches and they like just look at it all day. They're probably like, I want to look at some mountains. Okay. I've never been to the mountains before though. I want to go. All right. Oh, I like this one. In your opinion, which is better, pirates or ninjas?
Pirates or ninjas? Ooh, ninjas for sure.
Ninjas? Why not pirates? Pirates, you can like steal treasure. You know how to drive a boat.
Not every pirate knows how to drive a boat.
I mean, you could just be like Jack Sparrow. He didn't really know how to drive a boat, but he was like dope.
I know, but most pirates can't drive the boat, whereas all ninjas are great at disappearing.
That is true. Ninjas are pretty good at disappearing.
So I'll go with ninjas. I'm going to stick with ninjas.
Wait. Before we move on, who do you think will win in a fight? A pirate or a ninja?
A ninja.
A ninja? You think a ninja will win in a fight?
Unless it's a Jack Sparrow, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think all right. In your opinion, which is better? Ooh, the age-old debate. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. I'm definitely a dog person. Yeah, for all of you out there who are dog people, you're in my family. We're good.
We love you guys.
For all of you who are cat people, try again.
Let's talk about
just
cats,
keep trying again.
JC. Cats are dangerous. Like I seen this video.
Talking about like cougars or like cats?
Yo, cats. Yo, and then that's what even is like more scary because it's like they literally go like there's either you have regular house cats or you have a lion. Like
whereas dogs, you got like a house dog and like a wolf.
Exactly. Summer or winter? In your opinion, which one do you think is better? Summer or winter? All right.
Winter's better because snow. Snow is like the best thing ever.
I never really seen snow like that.
Well, if you haven't seen snow, you should choose winter.
All right. So, in your opinion, which is better? Ice cream or cake? Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream. Definitely.
Ice cream. Why do you say ice cream, Jason?
Well, because it's in Florida, ice cream makes sense year round.
Yeah.
Makes sense year round.
You need to cool off your body and your insides.
Absolutely. And the best ice cream just came to Gainesville.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
not sponsored by
correct. We're not sponsored by
Not
them, but
sponsored.
Mayday Ice Cream has some of the best ice cream ever, and you can get it
I
from
agree.
Wyatt. So go ahead, like after this, after you go to small groups, talk to your parents, drive over to Wyatt's Coffee, grab some Mayday ice cream. It's incredible.
Don't tell them that we sent you, because once again, we are not sponsored.
Also, Blue Sky Blues.
Blue Sky Blues. In your opinion, which is better, basketball or baseball?
Neither.
That's
Soccer.
That's not soccer, yo. JC, soccer is like they kick around the ball for like an hour and a half, and then one team scores.
Baseball, you stand in the same spot for a very long time.
Oh, I'm not voting for baseball. I'm voting for basketball. But like, basketball,
You're acting like soccer is worse than baseball.
it kind of is though. At least baseball, like they have like baseball songs, like "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." You know, soccer is just like
True.
no.
The only thing I can give baseball players is that they are like, they're super quick.
Yeah, they are pretty fast.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right. Well, JC, I'm glad that you got to answer these questions. I'm pretty sure the students are happy that you answered some of these
Thank
questions.
you so much for answering these questions in the comments. We're grateful that you guys participated.
Well, JC, I heard that we got this little thing going around called People's Choice that we've been doing on Instagram for a while.
Dude, we have.
Mhm.
We have. And People's Choice is from Double Dog,
Mhm.
which you mentioned it. But we took all the pictures submitted from Double Dog Dare-a-thon, which is a series of dares where you take a picture and submit it to see who won.
Mhm.
We gave away prizes, but we kept two.
We kept two prizes.
We kept two.
These last two prizes, they're pretty dope prizes.
So we kept two prizes for People's Choice Awards, one for transit and then one for our high school ministry called Inside Out.
Mhm.
And we have our People's Choice Awards winner. Congratulations. You did
Yo.
incredible.
That was awesome. I don't even know how they were able to do that.
Dude.
It was hard for me to do that.
Such a great picture. And I'm so glad you won because you won something special.
Oh, JC, what did they win?
They won a 6 foot inflatable,
I've never even seen
Rubber ducky.
a rubber
a
ducky
6 foot
that big
inflatable rubber
before,
ducky. And we're going to bring it out here right now. Let's get our 6
So-
foot inflatable rubber ducky out.
Oh my God! Oh God! Okay,
All right.
congratulations! You won the rubber ducky. You guys did amazing. We're so happy that you guys got this.
This is gonna be delivered to your house.
Today is going to be delivered in a couple hours. Well, guys, we are going to hop into our third week of the series called In My Opinion. And we're going to have my nice friend Caleb come and talk to you guys for a second.
Does your school have cliques? You know, those groups of people who they just bond together based on things they have in common? I mean, at my school there was the band clique, you know, or the sports clique, or like three-pointer, or the smart kids, me, duh, or even the church kids, me, again. I mean, I think I was like all those kids at one point or another. See, while you might get along well and have a ton in common with the people in your clique, you might have a lot of strong opinions about the people in other cliques, the ones who are maybe a little different from you. So in middle school, I had my group of friends, there were whatever, there were a bunch of groups of friends. Basically, whoever you sat with at the lunch table, right? You know what I'm talking about. So there's this one kid, we'll call him Joe. Now Joe, he was not a part of my clique. We didn't really hang out that much. When Joe and I did hang out, it wasn't really the best of times. See, Joe wasn't really nice, like, at all. So anytime I would run into Joe, do you think he was handing out candy bars? No. Joe was actually kind of a bully. And not only to me, but a couple kids in our grade. And every time I ran into him, I thought, this kid is just a big meanie. Man, he's just the worst. How could anybody ever want to hang out with him? This kid was just never fun to be around. He was never nice to anyone. I mean, this guy was just kind of mean. He was rude, impolite, young gentleman. Here's the truth. We all have those kinds of opinions about other people, right? I mean, oftentimes it's easy for us to form opinions or assume we know things to be true about people who are different than us. I mean, sure, we We don't know them all that well, but we definitely think we do. And what we think to be true of them becomes our opinion of who they actually are. Think for just a minute about the cliques in and around your school. You probably have assumptions or opinions about each and every one of them. Maybe you've thought things like, the rich kids are, all the people on the sports teams are, the smart kids are, those cheerleaders are, the band kids are. And I bet right now you're filling in each of these blanks with what you think you know about each one of these groups of people. I mean, we all do it. Even here at church. I bet you found yourself looking around and noticing cliques or groups of people and have thoughts like, the kids who always come to church, or those students from school, they're always, or those kids in the younger grades, they are always. Again, we form opinions about these people based on our assumptions. And just like that, our opinions become facts. And what's really tricky is that those opinions or assumptions come from all kinds of places. Maybe you think something about a certain group of people because of a past experience you had. Maybe they bullied you, or hurt you, or embarrassed you, or just weren't all that kind. Maybe you saw them act a certain way or do a certain thing, but whatever it was, that experience shaped your opinion. Or maybe for you, it really is just an assumption. You don't actually know the things you believe or think about that person or group of people are true. You just think it might be true. And for you, that assumption is enough to change your opinion. Or maybe for you, it's an opinion based in jealousy or insecurity. Yep, me? Jealous? Insecure? Never. A lot of the time, actually. Those other people have something you want or wish you had. And because you don't, you have negative feelings or opinions about them. Whatever the reason, when it comes to people who are different than us, people we don't really understand, we let our judgments and opinions affect how we view them. That's a problem for a lot of reasons. I mean, for starters, our judgments aren't usually nice and kind thoughts. We aren't typically describing people we don't really know with words like awesome or so cool, or they're just so fun to be around. Not only does that mean we're judging or seeing them negatively, but it also means we probably aren't going to give them a chance in the future. I mean, we've already made up our minds, right? We don't need to get to know them or learn anything else about them because in our minds, we already know who they are. But here's what I think we're missing. When we base our view of someone else on one experience or one opinion or one assumption, we aren't seeing the whole story. We aren't seeing the whole person. Okay, so there's a story in the Bible that I think can help us change the way we see other people. It's found in the book of John, which was written by one of Jesus's closest friends and followers named John. John was one of 12 men who walked closest with Jesus and learned from him during his ministry on earth. John wrote down what he actually saw, heard, and experienced as a follower of Jesus. And that's what we have to look at today. When we pick up our story, Jesus was teaching to a group of people when several religious leaders interrupted him with a question. "Teacher," they said to Jesus, "this woman was caught in the act of adultery. The law of Moses says to stone her. What do you say?" So basically, these religious leaders came to Jesus with a question about a woman who was caught sleeping with someone who wasn't her husband. That's so awkward. And the religious leaders, they knew the rules. They understood what the law said. Back then, when somebody committed adultery, they'd be stoned. And that basically means people would literally throw stones at them until they died. What? These religious leaders thought they knew exactly what Jesus was going to say about this woman. They were so sure that they interrupted his teaching just to get the answer. And they knew the answer was not only going to prove they were right about who this woman was, but also show how much better they were than she was. Now, can we all admit that we, just like the religious leaders, have a tendency to think better of ourselves than we do about others. We tend to see what other people do or who they are much differently than the way we see ourselves. And because of that, we've put space between us and them. We let our opinions and judgments define who they are, and we slowly move ourselves away from them. That's exactly what these religious leaders were doing with this woman. That's probably what they thought Jesus would do too. Instead, Jesus did something I don't think anybody expected. The religious leaders kept demanding an answer. So he stood up again and said, "All right, but let the one who has never sinned throw the first stone." Then he stooped down again and wrote in the dust. My man had no time for these guys, not enough time. He sat and wrote in the dust. See, Jesus challenged these religious leaders to look inward at themselves and their own sin instead of just judging others. Jesus told them that the one who hadn't sinned, who had never messed up or ever made a mistake or ever done anything wrong, was the only one who had the right to throw a stone at this woman. And as you can imagine, no one there besides Jesus fell into that category. While they were standing there, the religious leaders felt convicted and their argument shut down completely. Instead of throwing stones like they planned, John wrote, after they heard what Jesus said, they slipped away one by one by one. And soon, it was only Jesus left standing with this woman. Here's what happened next. Then Jesus stood up again and said to the woman, "Where are your accusers? Didn't even one of them condemn you?" "No, Lord," she said. And Jesus said, "Neither do I. Go and sin no more." While the religious leaders had judged this woman on only one thing they knew about her, Jesus saw something else. Jesus saw this woman as so much more than one bad decision. She was so much more than one opinion or one judgment or one experience. Jesus knew the whole story, and he loved her no matter what. Nobody in this story was really who everyone else thought they'd be. Everyone judged this woman as bad, but Jesus showed that she was worthy of forgiveness and a future. Everyone judged these religious leaders as good, but Jesus showed that they were no better than the woman they came to stone. The truth is, we are all made in the image of God, and that alone makes us worthy of his love and forgiveness. That's the way Jesus saw other people, and he calls us to see them in the same way. Jesus wants us to remember that there's more to other people than just our opinions of them. Kind of like my friend Joe we talked about earlier, who was kind of mean to me. You see, later in the school year, another kid was picking on me, and out of nowhere, Joe came up and stood in between the two of us and defended me. He told the other kid to walk away and leave me alone. But I thought Joe was just mean, but maybe he's not always like that. Maybe my one experience with him isn't who he actually is. You see, reducing someone to just one judgment or opinion causes you to miss so much. I mean, those band kids at your school, maybe they're really funny, but you have no idea because you've judged them as boring. Those cheerleaders in the lunchroom might be the nicest people in your grade, but you just assume they're mean, and that's become who they are in your eyes. Those kids in your small group who come to church all the time, maybe they're struggling with the same things you are, but you'll never know because they're perfect in your opinion. You might be missing out on so much about someone by simply letting your opinions and judgments define them. So my challenge to you is to remember this: there's more to others than just our opinions of them. To help you remember, I want you to try one of these two things this week. First, worry about yourself. Yeah, I'm calling you out. When you find yourself about to form an opinion or make a judgment about someone else, worry about yourself instead. Just as Jesus reminded those religious leaders, we've all got our own mistakes and missteps to worry about. So instead of focusing on someone else's behavior or interests or choices that you don't understand. Focus on what you're doing and how you can better live out the life God has for you. Or maybe remove the judgment. Think about who in your world that you've judged or formed an opinion about without truly getting to know them. What if instead of judging them with what you think you know about them, you let the facts define them? What if you only focus on what you know to be true about them? Now, while you may not know much about the other person or group of people right away, you do know this for sure. They are children of God, made in His image and deserving of His love. Just start there. Then, instead of making assumptions, think of them with compassion, love, and kindness and grace, just like Jesus did. Remember, there's more to others than just our opinions of them. As you head out today, ask yourself this question: what's one way I form opinions about people who are different than me?
Man, I love what Caleb said there. How he said that, like, our opinions, there's more to others than just our opinions of them. Mm-hmm. And I'm just curious, how would you answer that question he posed at the end? Like, how do you form opinions of people who are different than you?
I'll probably say like probably just like with everybody in general, like people tend to gravitate towards what they like. So then like when that person or when like somebody else does something that you don't necessarily agree with or like, then you're like going to end up having like that bias towards them or like that certain opinion towards them.
Yeah, and I think that like as we form opinions of people who are different than us, it can make us averse to getting to know them or even wanting to know them. I know for me, I've allowed stereotypes to determine who I like and who I don't like. And that has come to bite me in the butt because the opinion of them has not lined up with the facts about them. And maybe that's true for you, maybe that's not true for you. But I know that for all of us, I think one of the most important things he said was that like Jesus views you as a child of God. Like I heard that and I was like, man, that's good stuff right there. Yeah. That no matter what your opinion of them is, no matter what the facts are about them, that Jesus views you and views the people who are different than you as a child of God, that He gives you value, and He thinks you're valuable because of that. Mm-hmm. So before we go to group and before we talk about how we view people who are different from us and how to come to know those people a little better, I'd love it if we could pray.
Yeah, so the way how we're going to pray, we're going to actually have my friend Bobby. He's going to pray from home for us. And I want you guys to go ahead and bow your heads for us.
Dear God, thank you for all you do for us. Thank you for letting us gather, even at a different time in this life. I pray that these students can connect and get closer to you in this time, and they can connect to their families. And I pray that they can really receive this message and have a good rest of the week. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Thanks, Bobby. Well, we're so grateful that you guys tuned in with us today. We're so grateful that you're here. If it's your first time, we still got a link in the description where you can fill that out and get connected to a small group. We'll also send you a little gift, a $5 gift card to wherever you want. And if it's not your first time here, how can they get connected to a small group?
Well, if you guys don't know where to go for your small group, there's going to be a number that pops up on the screen, and there's going to be a number in the description. And what you guys are going to have to do, you're going to have to text your name, your grade, and your gender, and they'll go ahead and get you connected to your small group. But other than that, if you guys know where to go, then go ahead and get connected to your small group.
Awesome. Well, as you guys head out, we'll see you guys next week at 11:15 for Transit Online.